I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check.
You came.
Oh, we're going to Gateway to drop off this beautiful Denali Ultimate Yukon that just off the truck. Just tinted the 2 front windows. We preload everything at Gateway, just doing the 2 fronts, but I'm sure some of these will be rolling in to do the windshield or the beautiful paint on roof here pretty soon, hopefully. I am getting the inventory stock number so that way we can grab these cars and tint them. Just keep cars we need to pick up. Communication is key.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Getting ready for another day in the life. We are getting ready to go to T1 Race Development over in Royse City, who builds the fastest GTRs in the world. And looks like they may have the fastest R8 in the world that his wife drives. And I think they're trying to take the world record from underground racing. That's just what I think, but I know they built some nice stuff over there, so we're gonna go check it out. We're at T1 Race Development in Royse City, Texas. We're about to go inside and see some amazing vehicles. Come check it out.
Ideally. So we kind of campaigned George's car all-wheel drive for a long time, and then we started really wanting to cut a lot more weight out of it. So we already had pretty much everything you do that's still in the all-wheel drive configuration, like it's carbon quarter panels, the carbon one-piece front end, all that stuff. And we're like, you know, let's see how much weight we can take out of it by taking the whole Ford drivetrain out, but still leave the factory transaxle in the back. So it's still in the GR6, it still has the Ford drive output shaft, flange on it and everything, and did that, and that's when we started going 650s with it. You know, setting the record with that. But we've kind of got to the point where the car's not really 60 footing as well as it should. And so we're gonna put the all-wheel drive back in it. Now that we've got some other things sorted out and power's been bumped up, so go back all-wheel drive at the big power and see what it does.
Is
I
that
think it'll be
this
good.
car here?
No, it's actually it's a black car in the back, but George also owns this car now. So this is Bryn's old car that we did. So this is a factory red, full normal stock 2011 GTR that's now full tube chassis, 3/4. So we still run the GTR engine in it. It's got a TH400 trans. It's been 660 or 670, but it should go at least half a second quicker. Like it should go way quicker once we get it sorted out.
So we tinted this car in like 2011, and it was a red GTR, and now it doesn't have any of the same glass in it, and it looks nothing like the GTR.
We got it upstairs,
That's funny.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I totally remember that.
Yeah, this car when I first started the T1 was the first GTR I ever drove, because I had to take it to the dealer for like a warranty job on the bell housings back then.
Yep, I remember that.
There's nothing really warranted, on here.
Yeah. What's the current world record right now for the GTRs?
So the current ET record is a 651, which we have on one of George's GTRs.
And that one's here?
Yeah, it's in the back. We can go check it out.
Yeah.
So he's actually got 3 cars with us. So he's got this one, the 651's the GTR quickest world record, and then we've got this chassis car that's, it's a GTR, but doesn't use the factory GTR trans or that stuff anymore, so we don't try to be assholes about the records and all that stuff with it.
Okay.
And then his wife's car is this white one right here, and that car makes right at like 2,600 horsepower. It's 110-pound girl just wheeling that thing, just great driver, like kills it in there. It's really fun to watch them race all at the same events together.
Wow.
So this is George's car. This would be the quickest one in the world right now for an R35. So all this, obviously it's a one-piece front end, so there's a lot of weight savings there. But this is all custom fabricated, everything in-house. Full turbo kit, intercooler system, everything's done here. So we do that, tune it, all the body work's been done here. So this is kind of the epitome of what we're capable of doing when we're allowed to do whatever we want with a car.
What was the world record before you guys broke it?
It wasn't a whole lot slower than that. I think it was like a 53 or a 54 that was held for a couple years by Giddy, and I think he was with I always get him confused. So he was with AMS originally, then he went to ETS. So I think they set the record again with ETS, you know, whatever, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was. Car went 51.
Yeah.
We did that last year in this car. Yeah. So this is what you've been asking me about for a little while now. How far we've gotten with these cars, but I haven't seen Tony get as excited about a car as he's gotten for this one in quite some time. Because this is this is actually a local Dallas guy too. You know, this showed up 100% stock. Basically got a duplicate of what we did on Amy's car that's been 750s and a quarter, but you know, obviously much more finished out because we're not planning on having to redo this car often. So this is one of our built engines, Chevy manifold, all our T1 in-house built turbo kit. Makes just over 2,000. Drives like a stock car on Motec. Like, it's pretty
Super nice, huh?
So we try and keep it, you know, everything's super subtle on the builds. We like it to look as OEM plus as it can possibly look. But yeah, it's a wildly impressive platform, and the way Tony's got these driving, it's hard to believe they make that much power.
What's y'all's platform you guys work on the most, would you say?
So we were R35 only for almost 10 years now. As David's, you know, he's stayed in touch with us. We've done some work for him, but we've been doing GTRs exclusively for almost 10 years. That's shifted to kind of being just race car stuff now. There's more people that are getting out of like the street car GTRs and trying to get into R8s and stuff. You know, they all turn into basically race cars at that point, but they're still full interior. But these guys are building to go have fun on track. But again, you know, you're not having to strip them all out, you know, make them just loud pieces of crap. Like, they're still super comfortable. They got XM radio, AC, heat, everything. So it's super cool. So we're starting to get more and more of these. As you can see, the shop's littered with 6 or 7 at this point. But yeah, that's kind of how it's going. Is like the full out race car stuff, full cages and everything, still GTRs. We're kind of building just cool track cars with these that aren't all gutted out.
Oh wow! You could take this car to dinner then, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And if like a 1,000cc bike pulls up or something like that, they won't even know what hit them. This car will just be gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff like this. I mean, it started with the GTR stuff, but especially stuff like this has kind of made me why I have an S2000 that makes 1,200. I have no intention of taking that car on the street ever again, because like I would just absolutely about one of these. Like, it's pointless. These cars are so much better than basically any rear-wheel drive car you're going to build for the street, and really everything all-wheel drive now too. It's just, you can't touch them for what they are. It's crazy. I might actually have some stuff down.
Yeah.
So this is actually the turbo kit off of our R8. It's still the quickest R8 in the world in the quarter mile. So it's been 751, I think. I don't think we got in the 40s with it yet. So, you know, it did that at, again, full weight. It's using our full custom turbo kit. So all the titanium work is done here in house. These little short jumper manifolds made to the OEM headers are done in house. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what T1 is known for, is custom fabricated turbo components. So Tony's the owner here who does all the tuning now, but he actually is a tremendous fabricator himself. So we've always had a very high emphasis on custom created, fabricated parts that he's got a very good sense of what's right and what's wrong. We've got some pretty talented people here that are able to do the level of work that he expects. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so we've actually got this is the same kind of turbo kit that's actually on Dane's car, but that one's got a full custom made full exhaust on there. And then stuff like this is the front water box that we make for the R8s. Again, all custom fabricated in house. Some pretty trick stuff going on, inside and out. You can tell it's pretty well thought out. We try to keep everything hidden, but yeah, this is part of what goes into those builds. There's a ton of stuff we make in house here. The coating's done somewhere else, but yeah, everything else is done in here. Other trick stuff.
So when you guys first started, was it more like bolt-on, and eventually you guys just started kind of?
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story how Tony got into it. So he has been through a number of really reputable shops as he was, you know, teenager and early 20s growing up. Really got his hand in doing the fabrication side and then the tuning side. When he started his own first business, it was kind of whatever he could get in on at that point. Predominantly all Japanese stuff, Hondas, some Nissan stuff. But he kind of shifted towards just Honda drag race stuff for a long time. So he was doing a little bit of street car stuff, but mostly like the big front wheel drive drag cars. As you know, 2010 and up, I think he had a couple more people that got interested in the GTRs when they came out. And I think David is probably one of those people early on, an early adopter of that. So they started bringing their street car GTRs to him, and it started out just kind of bolt-on work, just light tuning stuff. But you know, the nature of car modifications go, that means in a year it's going to make 1,000 horsepower. So, you know, we did GTRs for the better part of a decade, and it's kind of just following the same plan of attack with the V10 stuff now. So, you know, we've done everything from, you know, again, Acura Integras, which is how he got his start, to now his wife drag races an R8 that makes 2,200 horsepower. So that whole spectrum of Japanese and now German cars.
Yeah, to give you a backstory, I had a 2011 GTR, and I also had a 97 GTR with the right-hand drive, and I had done a whole lot to that. So I wanted kind of like what they do now with the R8s. Something that was very streetable at the time that could still make decent power. So they did like several bolt-ons and stuff too, and it made, I believe they said it made the most horsepower for a stage 2 back then. It was like 650.
Yeah, you ended up running 9s on the street tires and stuff, didn't you?
It went 10.2 at 135.
Yeah, it was quick back then.
And everyone thought it had upgraded turbos, and I was lying. But obviously it didn't. Sure. I didn't fit the bill for that, and also I didn't want to mess up that car and go too far with it at the time because I already had a race car. So that was really cool, but their tuning is really good, and it showed because I was smoking everybody with just a few things. Because GTRs were so new back then, they didn't have super fast ones all the time, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember that day you brought the R33 up there. Was it 32 or 33?
It was a 33.
Yeah. That was one of the first ones I'd ever seen in person. If not the first one I ever saw in person. I think it was so clean.
And I remember you had just started here, and I was like anybody, you were like, I want to deal with Tony. And Tony was like, no, this is Stuart. Where, you know, is that transition is so hard. And it's funny because later I had to do the same thing and bring in management and all that stuff. And now, you know, I totally understand what happened in reverse. So that's why we're here dealing with Stuart today. A lot of respect, but also what he's been able to do here is just amazing.
Yeah.
And appreciate that.
A lot of respect for that.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a. You only take that front end off. Oh, dude, I think we have a set of downpipes over there. Over here real quick now. Then your normal GTR setup, but yeah, again, this is all custom fabricated in-house. Brink that's outside of Dallas did the chassis work on everything, but turbo system, intercore system's all here. It's our engine, our tuning, everything. So again, Brink Racecraft in Dallas did all the chassis work on it. Vestine's paint and body did all the finishing and roll cage stuff, so it's super nice. Then it's all custom fabricated, pedal stuff.
And this is how it looks when you're driving it?
How it looks when you're driving it?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So you're probably a foot or two back from where you normally sit in this thing, and it's super low.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like you're driving a big bus or something, but it's super cool. So you kind of just barely see over the front end on it, but it's a really cool feeling. It's a very direct, kind of mechanical feel compared to like the normal GTR stuff. It's a really cool. I haven't gone down the track in it, but it seems like it'd be pretty fun to do that.
I mean, is the flooring there when you're driving?
Yeah, for sure. It's all carbon stuff on it. We just have the transmission out for some updates right now.
I was about to say, yeah,
that'd be terrifying. Before,
you see the floor.
This is unbelievable.
It's essentially a V6 Pro mod is what it is. But it's pretty wild that we're able to get the kind of power figures we are out of basically the stock architecture VR38. That's what a lot of people are able to do with the bigger V8 stuff too. I mean, there's this engine configuration will make over 3,500 horsepower.
You guys sell these engines, right? You make them for people and sell them all over the world.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so right now we've got the world's quickest GTR record, but we've had engines in the previous record holder. So like I said, Gideon ETS took the record for a while. Before them was Alpha Logic. Well, Alpha Logic was using one of our engines. So our engines have been in the world's quickest cars for a long time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. That says a lot. So, have you guys heard of Injector Dynamics injectors? The owner here, Tony, was also an owner of Injector Dynamics, and they do the sales here. And Stuart was going to show us about that and tell us a little bit about them, because I know they're extremely popular.
Yeah, so we're kind of the industry leader in performance fuel injectors. We're actually the only aftermarket injector company that actually has a business partnership with Bosch Motorsport. So it's a pretty prestigious company to, they're outwardly, wanting to partner with us. So it's pretty cool. So as David said, we do all the sales and support for ID. We basically get the injectors sent to us in big bulk packages, and then we break them down for each customer's order, stocking order on wholesale accounts, things like that. We've been at that, again, almost 10 years. Basically have the full market share. I'd say we, pretty much dominate it. We keep continuing to come out and kind of refine the injectors we've got. So we've got, we have the 1050s, the 1300s, 1700s, and the 2600 cc injectors now. They're all fuels compatible, whether gasoline, methanol, ethanol. So we're trying to get everything covered there. One kind of emerging market we're working on is the side-by-side market. So we've kind of came out with our own fuel rail kits. So we've got a full plug-and-play fuel rail kit for the Polarises, the Hondas, the YXZs, Kawasaki's, all that stuff. So it's it's definitely an emerging market that we haven't got deep into yet, but that's kind of where we see some stuff going, and we're really trying to create some nice products there.
Wow.
Yeah, that is super cool. And I guess they put them in all different brands and for every type of vehicle, make and model. Really killing it.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing us.
You'll find them. I think every Subaru in the world now has a set of our injectors. They have to. I'm surprised Subaru of America is not just sending us POs at this point. But you'll find them anything from Subarus, Hennessy, and the Venoms. They're using our injectors. So we're in some pretty cool applications.
Venom GT?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So they use their crazy engines that they're doing. They've got ID injectors in those. So we have some pretty cool projects we're a part of.
Wow.
So you guys got the tour of T1 Race Development. Thank you so much, Stuart, for hospitality.
Yeah, appreciate it. Always nice working with you.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching another episode of A Day in the Life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you next week.